another Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host, Luke Figures. Alongside me will be Robert Alexander and Rudy Gutierrez. What's going on, guys?
So man,
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
It's actually a pretty good event. Mayweather promotion sometimes put on some snoozers, but Rob, this was an actually really entertaining event for the most part, wasn't
yeah, and I was even impressed leading up to the fight. He was on Sports Center talking about his promotions. All over Sports Center that day he went on. He was it was a great card. And he started off this new year. He started off this new year way better than all of last year went, in my opinion, because the card was stacked. Even the prelims were big fights.
it? Yeah, I mean the prelims. I'm probably gonna murder the Russian name. It was Petrov, something like that. I'm sure that's not your close, but versus Aleem. And man, they were back and forth the whole fight. Multiple knockdowns, and it looked like Aleem was all but going to be knocked out. All of a sudden, he comes back, lays him clean out. Ref had to stop it. He was too dazed and wobbly when he got up. That was it. Um, then we had Serrano Ruiz with the women's title fight. Nice to see that on TV. We don't get to see that very often. Um, then, of course, we get into the meat of things. Our boy Gervonta Davis. How'd you rate his performance?
Go ahead, Rudy. I know you have some good things to say, but I'll let you go first because I'm about to put on a rant.
I mean, if you're asking me to rate his performance, I mean, in my opinion, by default, simply by getting his opponent out as it was expected. To me, I give him an A. I mean, yeah, he did get hit multiple times, probably even more times than what he should have. Um, but like I told you guys, this guy, honestly, he is a tank. You know, he's he has very good boxing skills. Like I told you guys that day, one of the things that I like about Davis is the fact that every single punch that he throws is thrown with bad intentions. You know, usually boxers they'll go in and they'll slap the jab or sometimes just kind of even throw a lazy right, just kind of study their opponent and see what their opponent's got. Davis ain't there to play. Davis is there to inflict pain on you, and that's something that I love. That I love about boxing and that style of fighting. A lot of people might not, be too fond about it, but that's my personal take. The way Davis fought, and I think Davis fought a great fight. Um, Strategically, I think he fought the right fight. Pedraza pretty much made the fight perfect for his style, and we saw how well executed he landed those devastating punches.
Al Bernstein, though, was kept saying, Pedraza's got the wrong game plan. Do you agree, Rudy? He was coming at him all wrong. I mean, he was making it
I
a
think
very
it was
aggressive fight, and I think that's
that
going towards Davis.
right. That's why I said Pedraza made allow Davis to fight his fight. I mean, Davis is a lot shorter fighter, and Pedraza was in there in the pocket, not using his length and his height to his advantage. And I don't know, maybe Pedraza felt that by fighting him in the inside, he was going to be able to maybe smother him and take away his power a bit. And unfortunately for Pedraza's case, that wasn't the case because, in my opinion, Davis was in his A game and, fought him beautifully and got him out of there.
I mean, it really seemed like he was trying to take him to deep waters. I think they said Ronnie hadn't been past 9. Is that right, Rob?
Right.
He was trying to take him into deep waters and drown his ass. I don't know, Rob. Still eager to hear what you have to say about all this.
I'm not a fan, especially of prospect fighters making early comparisons of other great fighters. In this case, you have to, and that's the thing I love with Gervonta Davis is that he brings a level, a style of fighter that we haven't seen for in a very long time. So the comparisons with Gervonta Davis is like this here. Um, he showed the poise of a Floyd Mayweather, and that's what was happening with Pedraza. Is even though he was trying to smother his punches and take the fight to him, Gervonta had great poise in that fight, just like Floyd Mayweather would. Um, and he was able to construct the knockout. He really didn't look for, a knockout. He didn't throw haymakers in there. He constructed that knockout from round one all the way up to the end. He constructed that. So he has the poise, shown the poise of a Floyd Mayweather. He has the intensity factor, um, like Mike Tyson, which is like what Rudy said. Now, before you say, come on, he's no Mike Tyson, he's 130 pounds. Look, like Rudy said, the kid punches with bad intentions. There are fighters out there, like a Jermaine Taylor, guys like that. Deontay Wilder early in his career that looked for the knockouts and thrown back with bad intentions, but then fizzled out. Gervonta Davis at this weight doesn't look like he's going to fizzle out. He looks like he has the power at 130, 135, 140. He looks like he can move up a couple of weight classes and keep that power. So that's why, to me, he has a power like Mike Tyson. His focus is that between Triple G and Miguel Cotto. He really focuses in on his fight. He focuses in on his opponent, and the thing that's so impressive to me at this age is that he studies. You look at the end of the fight. He said, "I studied Pretty Boy Floyd," and he showed that poise in that fight like a Floyd. His defense isn't all the way there yet, but offensively to me, he's more like a early Floyd, early at his best, Adrian Broner. I just think he has the focus and the drive though to keep it happening. And like Floyd said, you can ask me all day, is he the future of boxing? Absolutely.
I mean, I think as far as him watching the game, so he needs to be watching draws and fights and opponent fights. He doesn't really need to be watching Pretty Boy Floyd. You need to be your own fighter. Everything that Floyd does is not going to work for you, and vice versa. Uh, I think it was a little bit of petting his ego, a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what it was.
No, you could tell with the poisoner, he hasn't shown that poise. The fight previous to this fight, he was real antsy to try to knock the guy out, and he took more punches than he should have in doing it. That's the fight that Floyd was in the crowd and he wanted to step in and actually, step in the corner and teach the kid about poise and throwing the right shots. For this fight, there was none of that. Like I said, he constructed this knockout from round one all the way up to the end. There was no letting off. The pressure was there. You could tell he's a studier of the game. And some fighters don't like watching their opponents. Some fighters like studying the game plan. They don't like watching the other fighter. And Pedraza, to me, doesn't really fight on the inside like that. So why study the guy when he's not gonna go about his normal style?
How is he going to know what style he's going to go about, though? He didn't know beforehand he was going to do that. He needs to be prepared for all aspects that he can bring out. Uh, who knows if Pedraza sticks to his guns and actually tries to box, it might be a different fight. We don't know. That's
Rudy, I know you didn't see that outcome being any different than what happened, do you, Rudy?
What was that? Sorry.
You didn't see any other outcome other than Davis knocking him out, even if he would have kept the range, do you?
Nah, to be honest.
I'm not saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's a problem. There's a difference.
Right.
But a lot of people are, you know how boxing fans are. They see a good win, they get excited, quick to crown everybody. Um, they think Davis is, the next Floyd, and saying that he's going to be able to beat all kinds of names. One name thrown out there is Lomachenko. Uh, Guys, come on now, they're a little bit crazy, right?
In the sport of boxing, whenever you get a spectacular KO win, fans are gonna talk. Emotions are up high, and sometimes logic, or just straight reason is not always at par. You know what I mean? Let the kid be the kid. Let Davis. He's a young fighter. I forgot what was his age, but I'm assuming he's probably no older than 22, 23. There you go. See, he's a young fighter. In boxing, that's extremely young. He still has a personality to develop. I'm not gonna say that he still has a style to develop. I would say more that he has a style to finish mastering. He's you could fairly say, in the professional level, he's a fairly new cat in the professional level. Let him just be what he's gonna be. For people to start saying, "Oh, he's the next Tyson, or he's the next Floyd," because he's studying Floyd. Come on, man, relax. It was a great win. You broke a record. Give you props, give you respect. But let's keep level-headed. You know what I mean?
Definitely, I agree. With that being said, obviously, I think we all kind of agree he shouldn't be fighting Lomachenko next. Who should he be fighting next? Rob, any ideas on who the boy should be fighting?
Honestly, I would rather him right now. I would rather him go after one of the other belts at 130. I'd rather him unify the title at 130. I do feel that he does have power to step up. Definitely, he has the power to step up in weight, but I want to see more of him. He's 17, 18 fights in. Like Rudy said, he hasn't fit into a set style as of yet. Lomachenko would just outbox the kid beautifully. Um, I would like to see him against some unification bout. I'd like to see him against other tough fighters, like Lee Shelby, maybe. I wouldn't even mind seeing him against Lee Shelby or Gary Russell Jr., unless Gary Russell is moving up, which, he's soon to do. But those two fighters come to mind.
I would like to see him take maybe a little bit of a smaller step, take on the Casey Sosa, maybe even Rocky Martinez. I think step small step. Rocky Martinez is definitely step.
I mean, I would agree that at this point, even though shit, I could probably contradict myself so many ways, because the kid is now a world champion. You know what I mean? You know, he's a champion. He's a fucking world champion. So sure, is it too soon to put him against Lomachenko maybe at a first defense? Business wise, absolutely, because it would be a very, very high risk fight. But hey, once you're a fucking champion, you're a champion, and you should be fighting, you know, top level opponents. You should be fighting number twos, number threes, number fours, number five in your division. There really, once you're a world champion, there really isn't a point for you to fight somebody that's ranked 33 on your division. You know what I mean? Um, I would understand maybe, like, build up the fighter or whatever. Okay, but I mean, eventually, if Davis plans to stay in the division, and like what Rob said, maybe go after another belt and unify and get another championship belt at that division. Eventually, whether it be in a year or two or three, he's gonna have to face Lomachenko. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's just how things should be in boxing. But unfortunately, and as we know, it doesn't always happen that way, and one of the things that, as a boxing fan, it always gets under my skin.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to draw a line. I think it's kind of like the Canelo effect when he first had his belt, beating up, no name guys. He shouldn't even be defending against no name guys. But if he's at least fighting guys within the top 10, I'm all for it. Um, the people that have been named that we suggested, all pretty much, no walkovers. Definitely highly ranked guys. So, I wouldn't have a problem with anything that anybody said.
Right.
Even Francisco Salido. I mean, come on now, Salido. That's a good fight. That says all action.
That's a tough test.
That's fight of the year right there. Salido says all action.
Stylistically, stylistically, that's a, you would say that's a perfect fight for Davis right now.
Yeah, we know that, but it doesn't always work out. Though. On paper,
Right,
it's
right,
looking
right,
good for one guy, and all of a sudden it's turned. Um, Now the clash between Badu Jack and Jack-DeGale was actually kind of surprised to me. I expected it to actually be kind of a snoozer. But it actually was pretty entertaining. Um, Kind of surprised that Jack got kind of flash knocked down and off balance almost. Um, Kind of an easy knockdown for Gale, but he did pick himself up and march back into the fight. Now I know I'm gonna get into this with you guys, but I want to go around table here and kind of see who won. I hate the fact that people say they rewatch it and they see somebody else winning. Unfortunately, I did do that this time. I saw Gale win by a point. Every time after that, I see Jack winning by one. I never saw an exact draw, but at that point, I can also say that I can't be mad at a draw because clearly it was that kind of fight.
right.
Rob?
Honestly, and I'm not lying here, I couldn't see it being anything but a draw to me. They both had their knockdowns, and even when they were going through their exchanges, I didn't feel like one of the fighters, broke even on it, or I didn't feel like one fighter showed dominance over the other, even in the exchanges. I think they had pretty good exchanges through the whole fight. Yeah, there were some rounds where Bottom Jack would win an exchange, some where DeGale would, but it was totally back and forth like that. They exchanged knockout or knockdowns. You know, everybody was leaning towards Badu Jack really at the end just because he got the better of the knockdowns. But that type of a flash knockdown, he was really hurt. And I talked mad crap about DeGale. I called him a garbage pail kid and everything going into this fight. But he showed some real skill and he stuck it out there. You know, the only thing that I can talk bad about DeGale is in this fight is his punches aren't clean. I can't stand those looping shots that he throws in there at him, but you got to give him credit. They were landing. And the thing you got to give them both credit for, too, is they didn't just go for the haymakers. They stuck to the body, too. I mean, they both did some honest punishment to each other in this fight. I didn't see it being anything but a draw, honestly.
And I kind of spoke on that too. Him not really taking risks. Badu Jack, I've been a big critic of Badu Jack, and I admit I've been wrong in some points. He doesn't take a lot of risks, and I think that's another reason I don't like him because he takes risks, and that equals no action. It's just kind of how it is. Um, but I have to admit, every time I've watched him, I've seen him get better. He fights smarter every time. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think he actually gained some power. Learned to turn over his punches over better. Um, and he goes to the body with some real dedication. And you could see it pile up on DeGale. Rudy, go ahead and tell me how you saw this fight.
Just like how you guys were saying at the beginning, it was definitely an entertaining fight. Uh, um, I have to say, I was a bit surprised. I thought maybe we'll have a round or two where there will be some good action, and then the rest will be more like a steady chess match kind of fight. But I was quite surprised, about the amount of action and the amount of exchanges that were in this fight. Um, But again, like what you said, Lucas, if and this is gonna sound weird because I know I'm usually talking shit about the judges but in this aspect, I mean, I'm kind of sort of defending them and defending their decision that night because as a fan, if you have to rewatch a fight 2 or 3 times, and every time you watch the fight with the luxury of pausing, rewinding, turning off the audio, and all those other techniques and tactics that crazy fans like us do, if you have to do that three or multiple times, and each time you do it, you see a different winner. Now imagine trying to decide that right there live ringside where you don't have that luxury of rewinding or pausing or doing whatever you got to do to say, oh, see, that jab really did land it, or that straight right really did land it, so therefore he won that round because of that punch. You know what I mean? So it definitely, some rounds, I gotta say, some rounds were pretty hard to score it, and obviously in boxing we don't like draws, but I think it was a fair decision that night.
Yeah, and I gotta agree. It didn't seem like anything but fair match for it to be a draw. It was back and forth affair. I mean, for the most part, for me, once I rewatched, I think the damage that Jack put on Gale, knocking his teeth out, working the body, and he was definitely a mess compared to Jack. I think that kind of played into my mind when I rewatched it as well. So for me to
Right.
have it Gale and then Jack, I can only say 2-0. That's really the only fair thing in this fight.
Yeah, and a lot of people are I've read some forums or discussions with my friends or whatever, and a lot of people are going because of that. Oh, Tamadu Jack won because look at the damage he inflicted on DeGale. Look at DeGale's face. He looks all beat up. I mean, shit. You could fight someone that is a lousy fucking fighter, but is a super strong fighter, and he could inflict that much damage to you with one punch, but you could be landing 10, 20, 30, 40 fucking punches. So what? So the other guy's gonna win just because he landed one freaking powerful punch every round. Does that mean that the other guy won? So I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't always judge a fight simply by how the other guy looks like, because hey, he might have delicate skin or whatever, or scar tissue or whatever, and shit, even small little grays can probably puff up his eye or whatever. That doesn't mean that you're losing the fight.
Just because he punches like a donkey and talks you a couple times and you swell up in one round doesn't mean that he won the fight. Very completely.
Right.
It sounds like he's moving up. Apparently, he vacated the belt. Uh, Rob, that's what you read, right? He's vacating and moving up.
Yeah, ESPN put it out today. He vacated the super middleweight title, and he's moving up to light heavyweight.
What do you guys want to see the fight at light heavy? I think the Gale would make kind of a small light heavy in my eyes.
Well, yeah, DeGale's no light heavyweight. I understand Badu Jack, and Mayweather are concerned with him making that weight at super middleweight.
He was saying
He's
that.
too. The problem is, look at his title defenses. The man defended the title at super middleweight 3 times. Split decision, majority draw, majority draw. He's not a definitive super middleweight champion. So I don't even I don't even think he can go up to light heavyweight and beat a guy like Solomon Barrera.
I don't know. We're gonna have to see. At least adds a little bit of entertainingness to it, seeing if he is able to take on this kind of man. After the fight, Mayweather's comments about the robbery, and he compared it to actually him versus Canelo, which was just insane. Completely no sense. And even coming from a Canelo fan, Rudy, you have to admit that was a big stretch.
Which one? The
He compared Badu Jack the Jack-DeGale decision as a draw to him losing on one scorecard against Canelo.
Oh, I mean, no, yeah, that CJ Ross that fight a 14. They gave it a 14-14 fight. I mean, that was pretty fucking absurd. But I mean, Mayweather's playing his game. He's the promoter. Obviously, his stock as a promoter would have gone, more higher with Badu Jack having all the titles, and so he he's sorry to all you Floyd fans. I mean, he's being a sore loser in quote unquote. I mean, obviously his guy didn't lose, but he's looking at it as a loss. But I mean, he's just playing he's just doing his job as as promoter and defending his guy. I mean, but I don't think it was a robbery. I mean, and it. I just don't see where can people say Baduja got robbed. I don't see it.
Yeah, I agree. At least he's playing the promoter role now. Before he was kind of a silent partner. He didn't really have his hands into Mayweather promotion. It was actually kind of nice,
Right.
seeing him at least out there doing his thing. Because I mean, I think it helped. Look at this card; it was much more entertaining, even if it was just him, promoting it by calling out McGregor and stuff like that. Which is, that's to me, that's just as bad as Chris Brown versus some people. That fight don't need to happen. Like, oh man. Now that first fight promotion, I did think kind of set a good tone for 2017. Hopefully, going forward, this is going to create more and more excitement as the year goes on. I know we have a lot going forward still. But one thing I did want to touch on, especially this year, Pacquiao's kind of said that they may do like a four-fight goodbye tour in 2017. He's already kind of getting it off to a start in April when he fights Horn in Australia. A lot of people are calling him a cherry picker for that. Let you guys run with that.
At least the kid is undefeated.
I'll give you that. He is undefeated. Um, he's unheard of, though. Um, I can name a lot of people that are undefeated that you probably never even heard of, um, and not even on televised fights yet. But that doesn't mean that you get to fight a Pacquiao. Um, he's also wanting his like guaranteed 20 million. You guys think he deserves that?
No, because not even HBO is backing it. So it's another Bob Arum production. Vargas, to me, didn't do that. Those numbers didn't do that well to constitute that type of payday. Um,
Uh,
Yeah,
I
because
mean, let me jump on this right quick. I mean, shit. If people want to fucking defend Floyd Mayweather getting 100 million for fighting a fucking clown that's not even a boxer, give Pacquiao his 20 fucking million for fighting somebody that is actually an actual boxer. I mean,
I
fuck.
disagree
I
with
mean,
you though, Rudy. I
ah,
mean, the guy is at the top of his sport. So at least he's another top-notch fighter at the top of his sport.
top notch fighter though, and then you get thrown into boxing, you're a baby. You're worse than an amateur. You're basically nobody.
yeah. I mean, I mean, I
Whether
mean,
McGregor
I
fought
mean,
amateur or not, when you get in there Floyd Mayweather, you're gonna look like an
check this out. This will be, and I hate the fact that I've been fucking talking about this because I don't even like entertaining this fucking fiasco. But fucking McGregor, he doesn't even have a boxing record, and so if he fights Floyd as his first professional boxing fight, motherfucker's gonna get paid $50 fucking million. You tell me which boxer in the world gets paid $15 million for his first fucking fight? You know what I mean? So I mean, shit. If people want to go ahead and find the logic behind that, why are we even bitching about fucking Pacquiao giving this Australian a rocky opportunity to make a name for himself. You know what I mean? Like at least this Australian guy. I'll be honest. I have no fucking idea who he is, but at least this Australian guy, quote unquote, has been earning his stripes because he is a boxer. Like, that's his career. That's what he started doing. So I mean, shit. If we want to fucking go and support this circus over here with Floyd and McGregor, why are we talking shit about Pacquiao?
Yeah, well,
Like, come on.
well said. It's hard for me to say anything. I mean, as far as Pacquiao goes, and this being a goodbye tour, I mean, he's fighting an undefeated guy. He wants to go kind of all over the world. I don't see Mayweather doing that. I didn't see he didn't want to leave Vegas for obvious reasons. That rabbit hole that I'm not going to jump down. But if he wants to go take on, Australia's best or undefeated in that current weight class, that's fine by me. He wants to go to Russia, fight whoever's the best over there. UK, fight who's the best over there, then come back to the States and fight who's best here. I am 100% for that. I don't care who he fights in the other three, but if he comes back and fights Terrence Crawford in the U.S., I'm all for it. He's got my praise. I don't care about the other two or three fights. He can do what he
I mean,
wants.
in all honesty, I'm gonna sound like a Pactar or whatever the fuck these fucking people say about Pacquiao. I mean, and this is the reason why Pacquiao is the people's champ. I mean, yeah, he's a fucking sore loser, and yeah, he brought up issues and whatever. But I mean, this is why a lot of people will remember Pacquiao for for the warrior that he was, for the people champ that he was. I mean, I don't think we. Okay, yeah, Mayweather's. You can say Mayweather's school, whatever. Okay, cool. Mayweather in his own league, Pacquiao's his own league, and at this point, honestly, if we look at the trajectory that Pacquiao has left and all the fucking wars that he had, just the four fights with Marquez and all the divisions that he pretty much conquered. I mean, shit, can we give the guy a strike?
I mean, and I didn't really want to touch on this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The whole who's the greatest Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. And I think ESPN or somebody just recently released like the top five, and they have Ali number one. I love Ali. He did great things. I prefer Joe Frazier over Ali, but that's neither here nor there. Um, but he's the greatest because he did stuff outside the ring too. They're not just considering the boxing ability or his ass is definitely not number one. ESPN's not stupid. Um, Floyd Mayweather, what has he done outside the ring? Bad things. At least that's what you hear about. He may have some charity, but if he does, it doesn't get a whole lot of publicity. He doesn't fight outside Vegas. He plays the good guy inside or the bad guy inside the ring and outside the ring. Beating women, going to jail, having boring for the most part fights, as common fans will see it. Pacquiao's going to be remembered, as you said, Rudy, for wars and for being the people's champion. And I believe Tyson said it best. Calls himself the greatest, yet he can't walk down the street by himself. He can't take his kids to school. You don't think Pacquiao can do that? People will want to take Pacquiao's kids to school for him. I got this, Pacquiao. Let me carry your groceries. It's a completely different thing. And for that, he will not be remembered in admiration as much as Manny Pacquiao will be.
Yeah, and just if I can speak on that,
Go ahead.
Muhammad Ali is one of the greatest sports people of our time because
He's an icon.
he's an icon because honestly, in his time, he carried the race on his back. You know, he stood up for human rights, civil rights. He stood up for uh, Muslims. He stood up for all of these things that made him so much of an icon. When he refused to go to war, he's the only person I've ever known and ever will know that can dodge the draft and come back and be still be loved for it.
I mean
So
that was like Floyd Mayweather, except he just dodged jail for beating a woman.
he he carried a race on his back. He was one of the icons that helped push civil rights movement and everything through the forefront. Manny Pacquiao holds a race of people on his back with the Philippines. All the disasters that they go through, everything with the poverty and stuff like that. He's a damn congressman for that country. He holds that race on his back. Floyd Mayweather, it's just Floyd. Floyd just holds himself up there. He has his, little entourage of people, the people that he trusts or and everything. But he holds himself on his back. He holds himself as a high regard. Um, and that's in everything that he does. When you see him on BET, he's not out there promoting the network. He's not out there promoting other celebrities. He's not out there promoting even Black Lives Matter. He's out there promoting himself. So that's really, honestly, you're right, Lucas. You really touched on a great point. That's why he should not be considered a great icon because he does not have the ability to do that. Correction. He does have the ability to do that, but he has
and
not
choose
chosen that path.
It's
and see and just to add on that, I mean you gotta, I mean, who are we to say, right? We're not professional athletes. We're not,
right.
but just to, the way I see it is athletes, boxers, they're when they get at a certain level, in my opinion, they're more than boxers. You know what I mean? Because they become public figures. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They become what the public, you can even say what the public dreams of becoming, or how you guys can say icons, and people admire them and whatnot. I mean, shit. I remember when I was young, when I was little, fuck, whenever I saw Chavez, I mean, he was like a superhero. Like he wasn't even human to me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But that's obviously because I was a child, I was a small kid, and so what boxers have to understand that when they reach at a certain, point in their career, like the Floyds, like Pacquiao, like all the greats that you could name, you know, they become more than just boxers. You know what I mean? And that's why, the majority of the boxing world will always say Muhammad Ali is the greatest there is and the greatest that there was. Uh, sure, Floyd is in all his right to say, fuck it, I don't want to support Black Lives Matter. Fuck it, I don't want to support nothing. It's about me. And that's his right. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the public is also at its right to say, fuck you, you're not as great as Muhammad Ali is. You know what I mean? That's just how it is.
And it is not just the public either. What gets me with Floyd and what annoys me, and I think I touched on this a little bit last week, but the attention that he gets for himself, or even for just things he's trying to get money for, like this Soldier Boy Chris Brown fight that should not happen, that is money, time, and effort that could be put into some of his own guys. Um,
Now let me tell you this
Gervonta
though.
Davis, I mean, he could use some new workout equipment. He could use some more promotion. You could be putting that towards your own stuff. So,
Well, I have to say this because you're right, but Floyd sees that. That's why the Soldier Boy and Chris Brown thing is no longer promoted by Floyd Mayweather. That was on Yahoo Sports today as well. Soldier Boy said Mayweather is taking too long in getting this thing together. F it, I'll put the money up by myself, and this thing will happen in March under Soldier Boy Promotions. Floyd's not going to be training me any longer.
mm-hmm.
Um, what happened was is Floyd had to rethink that thing through because his focus this week was on his promotional company and his fighters, Javante Davis, Badu Jack, and he put that on display. There was no talk about Soldier Boy, no talk about Chris Brown. It was about his fighters, and that's what I'm
That's his
looking.
shit.
Well, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing the most from him right now. Is I hope that he makes the right decisions in helping these young kids' lives because Gervonta Davis is important. There's a well-known show that we all know, a series of called The Wire that premiered. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it premiered and it had several seasons on HBO. Gervonta Davis' trainer is uh, depicted in that movie throughout the whole series. There's a guy who was training kids in Baltimore. He's from Baltimore. He's a Baltimore kid. He grew up along that same area where the Wire was based out of. This guy's character who was helping the kids in the gym and everything is Gervonta's trainer to this day. So for this kid to succeed in life, period, boxing is important, of the utmost importance. And we all know Floyd is going to make his life, change in an instant, especially more money than he's ever seen. But you got to give Floyd credit. He's put people in his life. Hopefully, he still has them, advising him there that have been able to put money in for the rest of his life. So hopefully that's what his second coming is about. He might not get into the Black Lives Matter and the civil rights movement and all of that, but at least he can go out there and help these young kids and make them relevant, just as he was. That's what I'm looking to see.
He didn't even have to do that though. I mean, I'm not expecting like huge leaps and bounds. If he can just show up to his hometown, go back to Michigan, visit a gym, encourage some people. That's all. You know, how much you're looked at is ridiculous compared to everybody else in the world, and the impact you can make on one person just from saying hi to him is extremely high. So you kind of have an obligation to not be a dick.
And like I'm saying, that's what I mean about boxers when they get at a certain level. I mean, you become more than a boxer. I mean, Floyd from Michigan. Look at the shit that's going on in Michigan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you have a box. I forgot his full name, but Mad Dog. What's his name? He just fought also on Friday. He's from Flint.
I'm trying to think. Oh, that's one thing we forgot to touch on.
Darrell what? Darrell Mad Dog what? Williams is it Williams or
Talking about Andre Drill?
yeah him.
Yeah,
You know how he
the
fought
Drills.
Flint? He nowhere in hell does he have like 2% of what the fuck Floyd Mayweather has, but this fucker's been doing a lot more for Flint, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's Floyd who's fucking pretty much crappy fucking money, and I'm not hitting no one to say what to do with your money, but I mean with the influence that he has, the connections that he has. I mean, this motherfucker talks to Warren Buffett.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's meeting with Donald fucking Trump.
We need to replace the water lines, and
Exactly.
they're not
I'm not.
even.
I'm not even saying Floyd break your piggy bank and you do the work. No, I'm saying what my train of thought is, dude, you have so much fucking influence. You have your network is fucking huge. You can use other people's money to promote their own causes or whatever. But I mean, you could be that seed. You know what I mean? Where you could go there and fix this situation in Michigan because apparently the fucking government is garbage that won't do that. But you know, he decides to talk about, oh, let's make Soldier Boy and Chris Brown. You know what I mean? I mean, I know we're going on a fucking tangent, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he backed off on that, y'all. Come on now.
no, 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 I know he did. I know he did.
You still gotta talk about it because he considered it from the get go. It should have not been in consideration, and
Exactly.
and it was annoying for me when I was little to see Muhammad Ali, which I didn't see Muhammad. I'm not that old, but when I saw footage of Ali like saying I'm the greatest, but then he would go out and actually help people. He'd interact with kids. If Mayweather was more like that, I could say like, it's just a persona he puts on, but it is not with Mayweather. That's who he is. He's just that self-centered, and I don't like to see people being taken advantage of, and that's why I'm a fan of Shaq. He has those cheap Shaquille O'Neal shoes that he puts in Walmart, and he clothes a lot of little boys that can't afford. When Jordan, $120, people killing each other over Jordans. That ain't helping nobody. Spending $120 for shoes is not helping anyone. um, but yeah, we kind of went off on a tangent as far as that's concerned. That happen that happens from time to time on the show. Definitely on this show. That's
This shit went from boxing to fucking
role model.
CNN and shit talking about socialism.
Yeah, I went into Flint and how they need to replace some water pipelines and shit. Oh man, a lot of fights coming up in the future here. At the end of the month, we got Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton rematch. That's for next week. We're not going to talk about that now. You gotta have to tune in. Tune in next week, if not the week after. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Friday, you guys got to tune in to Showbox. We're going to have Adam Lopez and Danny Roman. They're going to be fighting on Showbox. 12-round main event. Well, that will be it's an elimination title bout as well, so definitely looking forward to that. But we probably are going to have a special guest next week. Not going to say anything for sure yet until everything's locked in, but definitely check us out again next week. This is a special week for Wednesday. Weren't able to air yesterday. Normally we will be airing Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time, so join us then. But for Rudy Gutierrez and Robert Alexander, this was Tough Talk Tuesday. See us again next week.